Hello, everybody. My name is Nichelle. I wanted to make a video because I actually went to MEPS, I would say about a week ago, and I was very nervous going into it. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to get through it because there were a lot of different videos that I watched, and a lot of different people had a lot of different experiences. So I'm making this video coming from the perspective of a person who watched a million gazillion YouTube videos and was just really nervous going into it. So what I'm going to be outlining in this video is basically my experience step by step, starting from the morning of before I actually got in the car to go to MEPS, until we got back to the recruiter's office. So I went to MEPS last week, so Monday and Tuesday. We were supposed to meet at the recruiter's office at about 11 o'clock, but it got pushed back. So I had to call off from work. And that's another thing. Like, be prepared financially because it sucks missing 2 days of work, especially if you're like me, who I live on my own. And 2 days of work is a bill and some change. So I met up with three other people at the recruiter's office, and we kind of did a briefing of what to expect, what to do, what not to do. And they gave us a briefing on what we will be doing that day, night, and into the next morning. So what we were told is that we were going to be spending the night. So we had to bring a bag. I suggest you can bring a bunch of stuff, but honestly, you're not going to have enough time to unpack and really have like a really good, it's not like a sleepover. Like, you're literally like business, business, business the entire time you're there. So I packed one bag because I knew I was going to have to carry that bag with me. So I didn't bring like a bag in a purse. You're not going to need any money. So I would bring maybe like a debit card. You have to bring your ID, birth certificate, and your personal identification. But I put all of that in just like a little like beach bag kind of bag. Carried everything with me. You have to wear jeans, tennis shoes. You don't have to wear jeans, but you can wear a dress. But who's gonna wear a dress and tennis shoes? So you have to wear tennis shoes. So I wore plain white shirt, jeans, tennis shoes, and I just brought a shirt. I kept the same jeans on the next day because it's not a fashion show. Nobody there cares what you look like. So we get in the car to go to MEPS. We were going to be staying the night. So they were letting us know that, make sure you have everything you need because once we drop you off, you're stuck in, another city without any way back. So on the way there, now the first day is where you actually go to take the test. So me and it was two other guys. And, in the car, we're going, one of the recruiters, he's like blasting music the entire way. Like, nobody got a chance to study. We were still trying to cram. But we were just like really nervous. Everyone was super nervous about taking the test. So when we get there, we walk in. The MEPS building is not what I expected. For me, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know whether to expect some huge like compound. I've been to our Air Force base here, which is MacDill. And it's huge, and there's like tons of buildings that look like all kind of stuff. So I didn't know what to expect at all. But it's a really low key building. You wouldn't really know what it is because there's not really any signs or like descriptions of what it is. If you didn't see people in uniform walking in and out, people don't really linger outside. So you don't really see too many people, but every once in a while you'll see someone in a military uniform walk in. So when you walk in, there is just like if you ever have gone to like a courthouse or anything like that, there's a metal detector and there's a police officer guard right at the very first door. You have to take all your stuff off belts, watches, jewelry, anything you have like that, and put it in a metal detector. I'm sorry, not a metal detector, but like a at the airport, like a PSA scanner. So you put your bag in there as well. So your bag goes through, your stuff goes through, and then you get your stuff on the other side. So when you walk in, um, you're greeted by, I would say maybe like receptionists, but that's kind of not what they are. They're just people who greet you at a desk and kind of organize everything that's going on. And they ask you like, okay, well, they told me I had these earrings in. So I have these two here, and then I had these in. They told me you can only have in one pair of earrings. So I ended up having to take these earrings out and just have these little ones in. So you can only wear one pair of earrings, ladies. So remember that. And so they're like, okay, there's like a room when you first walk in, and they're like, okay, everything that you're carrying, you have to go and put it all in that room. And there's like a bunch of cubbies, and you just go find somewhere to put your stuff. So once you put your stuff away, they give you like a booklet that basically just kind of tells you about where you're at and what you're going to be doing there, rules. Sexual harassment is everywhere. So you're going to get that. Probably any paper you get is going to have something about sexual harassment on it. So you're sitting there in like this DMV style lobby. Like it's just a bunch of chairs and just a bunch of random people sitting in rows. And every once in a while, they'll come out and call Johnson, Williams, Matthews, whoever. And those people will get up and they'll disappear. So I'm like sweating, and I had studied for this test for weeks. Like, well, not weeks. I was kind of lazy with it. Like, I studied the math portion, which I knew I was going to have the most difficulty with. I would say every night for about a week and a half, and then like a full weekend. So the night before, I was like confident. I had like everything. I'm going to do FOIL, first, outer, inner, last, and PEMDAS, parentheses, all that stuff. And I was good. Like I wasn't like so nervous because I knew that if I got like really nervous, then I wasn't gonna do good. So I was drinking lots and lots of water, trying to keep myself hydrated. So finally they call my name. I want to say I sat in there. I didn't sit in there too long. I think it's maybe because we got there so late. We got there at around maybe like 2, 3 o'clock. So they call my name and I'm like, oh Lord. So I go. And you go into this room with just a bunch of computers, and next to the computers are maybe like some foggy glass like dividers that are about this big, so you can see over into the person's computer. I don't know why they have it there. I guess so you can't see what a person is writing on their notes, but you can definitely look over and see someone else's computer. Now they're paying attention in there, and there are cameras in there, so you don't want to like be like looking at someone else's test, because then you're going to get busted for cheating. So not a good idea. And plus, like, you don't know, that person could definitely be failing at life right now, and you copying the answers, and y'all both fail at life. So just go for what you know. It was the one thing I will say about this room, and I don't know if this is every MEPS, but if you're going to MEPS in Tampa, Florida, make sure that you wear a jacket, because it was, I want to say, like 55 degrees in that room. It was so cold. It was so cold that like every time the air condition like booted up and came on again, you can hear people like grimacing, because it was just like putting out the like coldest air I've ever felt in my life. Like I had like a jean jacket on. Something told me to wear a jacket. So I wore a jean jacket, and I was like shivering, like trying to do my test. Like it was terrible. I did not like being that cold. It was the worst. So you go through the test. I'm applying to be in the Navy. So I had to take, I believe it's 2 extra tests. You have to take like a coding test, and I think like a shapes test or something. So it was very long. Like it was very, very long. I took as much time as I possibly could. I was not one of those people who just like rushed through it. I was not that guy. So I want to say it was maybe, okay. And I'll say this. So during the test, you do have moments where you can get up and go to the bathroom. Like, it was so cold in there that like people kept getting up and going to the bathroom. A, I think to thaw out, and B, because like you kept having to pee because you're nervous and it's freezing and your brain is just like dry. Now you can't have your phone or anything like that, so it's not like you can go in the bathroom and cheat. It's not possible. But if you need to go in the bathroom and reevaluate your life for a second, you can do it. But you don't want to do it too much. So make sure that you pick a really good time to go and reevaluate yourself. So, and it doesn't count against you as far as time or anything like that. So I only got up and went to the bathroom like one time. So after you're done with your test, you get a sealed envelope with your test results in it. And you're told not to open your test results until you get back to the hotel room. So because we had got there so late and all the tests were over, and I want to say around maybe like 8 o'clock. So we got there at 2-ish, maybe 3. And we weren't done till almost 8 o'clock. So it takes some time. The test takes about, I would say, close to like 3 hours or maybe 2.5, but it's a really long test. So once but it doesn't feel like you're sitting there for 2-3 hours. Like, believe me, your brain is like trying to remember things that you just don't remember at that moment, but you know. So it doesn't feel like you sit there for 2 hours. It just feels like you just answer a whole lot of questions. So we get in there and they're like, okay, well, the shuttle and van is going to come pick you up and take you to the hotel. So we get into the shuttle, really small van, and there was like maybe like 17 of us. So we all cram into this van, and the hotel, which is really nice hotel, was, I want to say, about 30 40 minutes away. It took us a little ride to get there. So we get there, and it's a really beautiful hotel. It was really nice. And they serve you dinner at the hotel. And the hotel is like a buffet style. Like, it's not like Golden Corral buffet, but it's got like, serving platters and stuff like that. It was good though. But before we got to eat, so remember, you have been there for like hours now, so everybody's like hungry as hell. I was so hungry. We had to get a briefing before we even went down there to eat. Luckily, the briefing was short because dinner was going to be over in like an hour. So we had a briefing for maybe like 15 minutes, and we only got like 30 minutes to eat because then we had to come back for the rest of the briefing. So we got like 30 minutes to eat. So we all hauled ass down to the cafeteria, whatever you would call it. And we are just like scarfing down our food and everything. And then everyone just like goes back up. So we get this briefing on the rules and, everything that we're supposed to do. Now, everyone that's around you is going to different branches of the military. So some people are going Navy, some people are going Air Force, Coast Guard, Army, Marines. Everybody's mixed into one. So you're not going to just be with like people who are in the Navy or people who are going here or there. Like, you're going to have all different kind of people. So once we get the briefing done about the rules and what we can do, can't do, and kind of what we're going to be expected to be doing the next day, they assign you to your room. So I was like worried about that part because I did not want to get like bunked with someone who is like crazy or just like, I don't know, like weird. I'm really like a cool person and I can gel with just about anybody, but I didn't want anybody who's just like giving bad vibes because it was already like, you're already like on edge because you just took this long test. Everyone is still nervous because no one has opened their envelopes yet and saw what their scores are. So we get our room. So it was me and 3 other girls, and we're going up to our floor, which is the 5th floor. So we're walking, and I'm like, hey, what branch are y'all in? So one of the girls was going to Air Force, and the other girl was going to Marines. So I was like, all right, girl. Like, yes, okay. Okay. Good for you. Not for me, but for you. So I'm proud of you. Thank you for your service. in your future service. So she laughed or whatever. So she went off to her room. I think she bunked by herself. So me and this other girl, we're walking and we're like, dang, like, where's our room? So we going down there and I'm like, yeah, well, my room coming up here in just a second. I was like, your room probably up here too. So I get up, I'm counting. So I'm like, all right, here go my room right here. I'll see you tomorrow. And then she's like, oh yeah, this is my room too. And I was like, oh. She was cool, don't get me wrong, but I sure thought I was going to be in that room by myself. So this is the girl who's going to the Air Force. So we get in there or whatever. And, you know, I'm like, all right, you can go ahead and take a shower. And I'm going to just chill for a second. I still need to open my test results and kind of see what I got and look at it or whatever. So she gets in the shower. So test results. This is a whole nother monster. So everybody knows a passing score to get into most branches is like a 30, I believe. And for the Air Force, I believe it's like a 35 or something like that. So I opened my scores and I like did really good on a couple of things. And I did kind of bad on a few others. So I got a 45, which for me, you guys, I was so like, I wanted to jump off the balcony of our room. When I took the AFQT at the recruiter's office, I got a 60. When I took the AFQT at the Air Force recruiter's office, which I went to before I went to the Navy, I got a 56. So when I opened it and I saw that there was a 45 in there, I wanted to cry. I was just like really upset. I was like, Lord, I am going to get MEPS specialists. They are not going to let me do anything important in the military. This is the worst score in the world. So for me, I felt like I bombed it. I was so upset with myself. I honestly just wanted to cry. I wanted to go home. I really wanted to go home. But I remember what my recruiter told me, which was if you don't pass, then you can just get through your medical. You can come back and retake it. Or if you don't get a score that you want, then you can always come back and retake it. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to stress this. I still need to get through medical because that's a big one too. This video is going to be really long. I'm sorry, y'all, but this is really everything that you're going to go through when you get there. So I didn't ask the other girl what she got. It was none of my business, and I'm not that damn nosy. So I just left it alone. I packed my little paper up. I packed my petty ass 45 up and just was like, whatever. So me and her came to the agreement. By this time, I want to say it was like 10 o'clock. And you have to be up to go to MEPS day 2. Wake up calls at 4 a.m. So we was like, look, I'm trying to go to bed. I'm not really trying to stay up and watch no TV or nothing. And she was feeling the same way. So we both got in the shower, took our ass to sleep. Now, I set an alarm for 3:30 because I know me and I don't ever get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was like extra scared. So I set my alarm for 3:30. She said she was going to set hers for 4. So we go to sleep. The beds were so amazing. So the most comfortable bed I've ever been in my life. Like I slept like a baby. It was so nice. We were so tired, so done. So 3:30 pops off. My phone rings. I go. I was not ready to wake up yet. So I snoozed mine till 4. I went back to sleep. She got up, I want to say maybe like 3:45, almost 4 o'clock. And like, pew, she was dressed in like I think she slept in her clothes or something. Because she was like ready to walk out the door at like 4:10. And because the bus was coming to get us at 5. So breakfast started at 4:30. So you don't like, there was not a lot of time to like just leisurely get dressed and go downstairs and eat and do all these things because we were there, but there was also a group of recruits who were shipping out to boot camp who were staying there too. So all of them had to eat and get on the buses with us. We had to eat and get on the buses. So I was like, okay. So as soon as she left, I was like, I got dressed maybe in like a couple minutes. And I took my behind downstairs too. I was downstairs. maybe like 10, 15 minutes after her. So I got down there at maybe like 4:20. Now breakfast starts at 4:30. There were already like 50 people sitting eating, like already. I think they started it early because there were so many of us and they knew it was gonna be really tough for all of us to try to just eat in 30 minutes. So I got down there. Okay, so everybody explains this too. Yes, they have fruit, they have bacon, they have Canadian bacon, eggs, hash browns, lot of good stuff for breakfast. Lots. I pigged out the night before on the fettuccine alfredo that they had, so I didn't eat there very much. I had like a little bit of fettuccine alfredo. I didn't have a lot, but I had like a salad, and then like I put some of the chicken from the fettuccine alfredo on it, so it was still kind of greedy. Like I had noodles on the side. It was still greedy, but it wasn't like excessive. So for breakfast, I had like a couple pieces of fruit and some eggs, and I didn't really eat too much else. So we all ate, and then like before you could even really get finished, they were like, all right, we're leaving. The buses are outside. So everybody hauls ass, and you have to find your roommate and pair up with them. So it was like maybe 150 of us. It was a lot of kids, a lot. So it took me like a minute to find my roommate or whatever. So I find my roommate. We get loaded on these huge like tour buses. They aren't like school buses or anything. So there was like, people are like, yeah, they're gonna be quiet so you can sleep on the bus. Like, no, they were playing like the radio on the bus, and no one was asleep. Nobody, because everybody was nervous, because the test is one thing. Like, more than likely, you're gonna go and pass the test. But the medical is what really makes or breaks it. Like the medical and the fact that you're going to be offered a job today. So, everyone was nervous because, the stories about, oh, well, if you don't get offered the job you want, then you just got to pick a job and be happy with what you get. And if you can't see out of your left eye like you're supposed to, then that job you want is now down the toilet. Like, there were so many factors into it that everyone was really on edge. So I'll say this. So second day we get there, we all unload out of the bus. It was different than the first day. Soon as we get off the bus, we're walking or whatever, and there was a sergeant outside waiting for us. Now, I told y'all that we also had a group of recruits mixed in with us who were going to boot camp. You couldn't tell who was crazy, because I felt nervous. But then once I realized that there was a group of kids with us that were going to be going to boot camp today, I was like, oh Lord, like I can't even be nervous because y'all finna go to the real deal. I'm just getting a physical today. Y'all finna get checked out and sent on a plane straight to boot camp. And it's going to be hell for you for like 8 weeks starting today. So I was like, I immediately just like calmed down like 5 notches and was like, okay, it ain't that bad because they're cool. So you need to be cool too. So we get off the bus, and immediately the sergeant's like, everybody get in line and line up like this and line up like that and line up like this and line up like that. Now it's 4:00 in the morning. Well, no, by this time it's like 5 something. So, but she's screaming at us. So everybody's like, everybody's like trying to get it together, still half asleep, nervous, all of these things. And she was like, so for you guys that are just here for your medical, you're going to get in line over here. And for you guys who are here to get checked out and sent off to boot camp, you're already in boot camp. So she was like, and you guys line up like this and like this and like that and like this. So we all got in line real liney or whatever. And they drilled us on, and when you get in here, ain't no talking, ain't no laughing, ain't no giggling up in here, or you will get sent home. if I even see your teeth, you gonna get sent home. I was like, damn, like, yo, like, okay. I was like, what happened? What did it just turn into? So we all get in line. They tell us, all right, so you can't have no weapons. You can't have this. You can't have that. All of the stuff we already knew. But of course, there's always somebody. One thing you're going to notice going into MEPS, and I feel like the military, I haven't been there yet, but I feel like just from this experience already, is that there's always going to be somebody who did not follow the directions like they're supposed to. So I'm gonna make a second video of the medical day, but all of what I just gave you was the first day into the beginning of the second day. Now, the medical day is its own beast, and because this video is already 25 minutes long, I'm gonna just end this right now by telling you that we had one person who had like a Swiss Army knife or something on them for whatever reason. I think they thought that they might have to break out into a MacGyver type situation and prove themselves as a handy dandy like Tim the Toolman Taylor or some shit. I don't know. But I'm like, why did you bring that? What you trying to screw in Swiss out here? Like, you don't need that. Like, leave that at home. And then people had to give up like their cigarettes, pretty much all of that kind of stuff. So I am going to make another video. So please watch this next video because the medical day was its own beast. And when I tell you that all of that from the first day and the first night, it was nothing compared to the second day after we got loaded off this bus and told that we cannot do nothing. So stay tuned.